You are now live. They're telling my followers that we've started a live video. So now do I
So should we erase one of the start a live video? Got that. So do we erase?
I think you have to ask to be part of it.
Real
Oh, there you are. Chris Williams just joined. And how do I accept you? Shahid.
Yeah, you have to. This.
There is a delay. Oh, there it is. View request. Go live with Chris. Send me a request, Shahida. There we go. Hold on. Send request. All right. Now I gotta
So
turn
we
my
should
thing
turn
down.
this off then.
Oh, there you are.
So I should get rid of StreamYard. Should we close that?
I didn't close my StreamYard.
But I can hear the echo and.
Why don't you try to?
What is that?
I plugged my headphones in. I plugged my other headphones in to my computer.
So someone has their volume on that you can.
It might be me. Is that better?
Yes.
Much.
Okay.
Well, hey everybody. So we've got how many? 7 folks are in the house. Okay. Let's see who's joining. I put it out there on the Facebook for our peoples in Facebook. So let's see who shows up from the fam. It's Friday. I'm on the deck.
Did we just lose Chris?
Wait.
We
Did we
did.
lose you, Chris? We did, because now he's paused.
I like
Chris. Chris. Hot mess. But at least he paused on a good picture. So
I don't even see the picture.
You can't even see it? You can't see the 3 of us?
I don't see him.
Oh, I see him.
Okay,
Let me see. Let me invite Chris. See if he gets it.
Sanji,
there he is.
Taboo, Ibrahim,
Send request.
Malik. Do I know? I know Sanji. I think. Oh, what?
Nothing.
I can't say hello.
I don't know.
I'm saying hello.
Well, if you know them,
reading the names as they go up. So I'm like saying hello and waiting for Chris to get in here.
Hi, everybody. It's Friday. I sent him another request. Or maybe Chris was like, fuck
I see it. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
like,
what happened? Are you like fully charged now?
I think so.
But
yes.
I can't see you. You're still frozen for me.
I can see him clear. And he's moving.
Can't. He's still frozen to me. He's not moving to me.
All right. Is he still?
It's all good.
So are we on the other thing too?
I think we're on both. We're on.
Oh, I see you on StreamYard clearly, but I can see you on Instagram, but you're still frozen.
Well, does anybody? I want to know if other people see him.
Yeah,
not frozen.
Gail
so
Marie
if you can't
says
see
we see you, CW.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, Gail.
We don't want to talk to your friends. We want to see our friends.
Well, I don't need to see Chris because I can see Chris on my laptop right now, so I'm good.
You can't see me at all?
I can see you, but you're still on the frozen picture. That I sent you another request.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I see you fine. You're perfect.
He said he sees all 3. That's my brother.
Okay, good. And they're moving.
Oh,
okay.
so all right. So everybody, don't worry about me because I can see Chris on my laptop. So as long as y'all can see all the 3 of us moving and talking, we're good. So happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to our first IG Live Still Dill podcast. Hey, Chris. I've got my cocktail.
Okay,
drinking tonight?
Since we're like, this is our first, Friday IG Live or whatever. I for people who are just joining, it is absolutely remarkable the connection that the 3 of us have now in a short amount of time.
We're besties now. We're besties. And you know what? Chris can't quit us because I will travel to
I know where he lives. I know where he lives.
Well, yeah, you know where he lives, and I will travel to the ends of the earth and be like outside of somewhere.
Put him
in
the
headlock. Chris! No, I'll be outside the window like, Chris!
Because
we did our
podcast from my house.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
Yep. I got all his info, so he can't go nowhere. So we just kind of hijacked him.
Yeah, so basically they brought me on in January, I guess. When did we start? February or March?
I think it was. When was it?
Oh, damn.
It was
March.
I can't remember.
March. I'm just trying to let people know. They interviewed me
in March.
In January.
No, because the pandemic had already started and you were in Toronto.
When was he was in Vancouver?
I was in Vancouver
when he was in
January
Vancouver
to February.
That's right.
Really?
And he put it up. Yes, that's how long it's been. It was
But
January.
we weren't in quarantine in January.
Yes, we
were.
I was
year.
in quarantine.
No, he was in quarantine. It was this year. You talking about January 2020. We talking about 2021, boo-boos, when we were full in pandemic mode.
I thought it was, because I thought it was in pandemic mode and okay.
In January.
No, it was January. Yeah.
In January, like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Was it just it could not have been just 4 months ago.
It doesn't feel like 4 months ago because we've known each other forever now. But it was literally 4 months ago because I remember Chris. I've been following Chris for a long time on his regular Instagram and then on his Chris Travels Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, he's so hilarious. And then he had posted that he was in, what is it? What do you call it there?
Vancouver. I was in Vancouver.
Vancouver. For
and that was just, wow.
That was 4 months ago.
Dude, I feel like I've known you like 2-3 years.
And I took the chance. Remember, Shahida, I told you I took the chance and I was like, because he was like, I'm on quarantine for 14, 15 days. He can't leave, whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like,
him during that
time. So I was like, I sent him a DM and was like, well, how about you be on our podcast? And he was like, sure, when? And I was like, come on. I thought we was being catfished. And sure enough, I'm telling Shahida, I'm like, Chris Williams is gonna be on our podcast. She's like, oh, okay, great. And then the whole time we booked it, I'm saying to myself, I swear to God, if we start this podcast and he shows up and he's somebody not and it ain't him, I'm gonna lose my shit.
What if I was Chris Williams from Atlanta?
I would have shot your ass dead. God forgive me, Jesus.
I would have been like, I would have had the most problem with that because I would be like, Tanya, you said he was cute.
Yeah.
What if I wore a little blue suit?
No, not the too tight nut hugging suit. No, so you cannot wear those nut hugging two suits.
After the interview in January, and we started talking about Married at First Sight, and the ladies asked me to be on come on with Chopping Up with Chris to talk about Married at First Sight, because I love that show, and it's a ridiculous show, but I'm obsessed with it. So we watched it, and we would do it. We do a podcast after every episode. Yeah. So you can find it on YouTube at the
Still Dope Podcast.
Popping it up with Chris. That's what the
Still Dope Podcast on. Just search Still Dope Podcast on YouTube. We're good.
And so it ended 2 weeks ago, I guess. Married at First Sight?
Yeah, I think
actually a week ago. That was the last episode.
The last reunion episode.
So now, since we don't have anything until the next one starts, we figured we just come on here and just chop it up just talk some shit.
Just talk some shit. So
because we have opinions about everything. That's why I feel like we've known each other forever because we talk.
Yep.
Before we actually start the podcast, we talk about shit for at least an hour. And then we'd be like, damn, we got stuff to do.
I know. And then we literally rush through an episode and then we finish and then we talk for like another 45 minutes until someone's like, we got to go. Or I got an appointment. I got a jujitsu class or my lazy ass.
That's
I'm
usually
like,
Chris because you and I are going to bed.
I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm like, it's 8:30 now. I'm tired. I got to go night-night. I haven't even eaten yet. First of all, I want to give a shout out. My brother and his wife joined, so I got to give a shout out to Win Addiction and Bean Potters. Hey guys, thanks for the love and the support. Love you, kiss, kiss.
I see somebody's sister joined too. So somebody's saying hi to your sister is on here.
I know.
Stop it! Don't you tell
Hi,
me that
Rose.
shit,
David's
Shahida.
on here.
She
Tanisha.
is on here. Well, she joined. I don't know if she's still listening because she's
Oh,
probably like at this point, like I don't know, they're not that interested.
No, she said yup. She said yup, and I just literally fell out. Anyway,
Don't reply to her, Miss Vanessa Williams, because she might turn into a stalker because she stalked Chris. That's
Pretty
how
much.
we got him.
So let's talk about this Naomi Osaka.
Okay, go ahead.
yes, let's talk about Naomi.
And mental
So,
health.
okay, so what I really was offended or upset about was the fact that the whole situation upset me. But the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, Naomi Osaka is like, I am going to play my tennis, but I'm not going to give interviews because, you know, I suffer from depression and
She's going through some things.
She's going through some shit.
And she's young.
And they should have let that go. But no, what does the French Open do? They
it's
fined
not that
her
they should
15.
let it go. They should have modified because they were upset and fined her $15,000
Right.
for not doing the press conference. She wanted to play, but
Right.
she didn't feel like talking
It's
about
just
it
the
in the
press.
press conference.
That's what I was saying. She wanted to play, but she wasn't trying to have the presser afterwards.
Right.
But
so go ahead.
What bothered me the most about that was that, I mean, obviously now everybody's, you know, coming to her defense. But in the beginning, the only people that right off the bat came to her defense was obviously Serena, Venus, and Coco Gauff. 3 black sisters.
Are you talking about like the actual tennis players were those were the only 3 that came out? Because I saw a lot
immediately
of people offering her support.
I didn't see any of that.
Really?
And then,
I felt like a lot of people offered her a lot of support.
Billie Jean King went on Twitter and she gave like some, you know, like a politically correct type of response on that. And I was like, I don't really want to get into it because I don't want to like misquote her. But when I read it, because it was really long, and when I read it, I was just like, really? Why can't you just say, I support her, and if she doesn't want to give a presser, she shouldn't be forced to give a presser.
Not, you know, and her thing is too, it's not directly after her match. Give her some time to decompress, get herself together, and then she's fine with it. That what her point was is that it's immediately after, and if you've like suffered a loss, you have to have those cameras all in your face immediately. And anybody who has had to deal with, because I feel like lately the press has been shit anyway, but anybody that has had to deal with the press, it's not even like they ask logical questions to these athletes. Like Serena said, she gets totally upset about some of the questions that these people ask her about the game that she plays and they don't even play. Why are you smiling?
I'm smiling because my boy Sal's in the house. Hey, Sal, love you. But no, here's the thing. But Venus literally chose violence on all this shit. Like yesterday, she gave her presser, and somebody asked her about it, and she basically went there and was like,
because look how bad the press was to them, especially as young girls.
Yeah. So she was like, at the end of the day, I can do these. This is just me. I can do this because at the end of the day, you guys will never play like me. You won't know the game. You will not ever be as good as me. And I will always be better than you. Oh, that was Venus. No, Venus went in yesterday.
Oh yeah, Venus went off.
Venus went in. Venus had a drop the mic. I'm choosing violence over everything. Venus unleashed her inner daddy. Remember her father? We are.
I'll be right back.
We are all of that. Okay,
where you going?
I'll be right back.
Keep it right back.
We
can keep it going.
Oh, he's like jumped off.
He'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, listen, folks, don't leave us now. I see all us 19 up in here. Don't leave us. Chris will be back. If he said he's going to be back, he said he's going to be back. But Venus literally channeled her dad on this one. Because remember, we all remember her father. We all remember her father going in on the press and everybody. And she went in.
But that's the point, is that they have valid reasons. All she's doing is just respect when she says at that moment she just can't come in. You know, and I don't think that's
I don't have a problem with that.
Or even the tennis association, they should demand that immediately.
Yep.
I understand that they do need that. They want them to engage in the press because that's good for their business. But at the end of the day, you got to be more mindful of your fans.
Yeah. But listen, she should
Or the
have
players, not the fans.
took a play from what's his my man Marshawn Lynch's book. She should have showed up to the presser and said, "I'm here. You can ask me any question you want to ask me, and this is going to be my response. I am here just so I don't get fined." She should have pulled Marshawn Lynch when Marshawn Lynch was in the Super Bowl, and Uncle Marshawn was like, "I'm just here so I don't get fined. Ask me whatever the fuck you want to ask me, but I ain't saying shit."
I think the difference is, though, since she's having, I think, Marshawn is that kind of confrontational, like, I don't give a shit. I just don't want to get fined because it's money. And if I have to do this, I have to do it. I think her issue was it's obviously really a lot of pressure on her, and she just didn't want to deal with it. And I think something else may have happened in one of the last tournaments or something.
No, it was the tournament where she beat Serena, remember? And then the crowd turned against her, and she won single-handedly, even though Venus slammed her racket down and got a point taken away from her. Yes. She literally won, and then the crowd turned on her and was booing. Yeah, she won against Serena, and the crowd turned on her and was booing at Naomi Osaka to the point where she was sitting in the chair while Serena was getting her runner-up trophy, and she had a towel over her head. No one should ever have to work that hard in your life to get to that point where she wins, and you have to put a towel over your head in shame and because to hide your tears because you're so upset because people are like, oh, boo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why'd they boo her?
They booed her because she beat Serena.
Because she beat Serena. I mean, it was a clean game. So
yeah, that was all on Serena. Even though Serena got the point taken away from her, Serena still would have lost because Naomi didn't literally beat her ass. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it had to take Serena to say during the press conference, on the court, how they talk on the court. It had to take Serena to say, let's move on. Let's stop booing. She won, and she basically was. Okay. She was she was championing and Naomi.
Naomi, yeah.
It shouldn't have to come to that. I think that's where that started because also Naomi as a young girl. I mean, she's a woman now, but at that time she was a young girl, and to be thrust into that spotlight and have all that on her and be making all this money. It's like, that's too much. And then you got these crowds of people that you don't even know that are just booing you and all up in your ass like that.
It's interesting treating athletes for issues like a bad hamstring or something, tennis elbow or something. But when it comes to mental health, there's no allowance really for mental health issues or, so I don't know how.
I don't think in any of the sports.
None of the sports. I mean, well, the NBA has been addressing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because a couple of people have come out being depressed and saying that it really. Kevin Love, one of the basketball players who's on the Cavs, he did it, and a couple other people.
And then the fans get mad and say, "What do you have to be depressed about?"
Right.
That's the crazy thing. But go ahead, finish.
No, you're right. And also, why are you complaining? Because if you're so rich, you got all this money. And also, there's the argument of, well, it's part of the game. It's part of your career to to give interviews. It's part of it, not just performing at your sport, but to be on there, to talk to, and they do ask some really bad questions and ask questions that they would not ask of a man too. It's not just an African American thing. It's a male thing, and
I mean, the same with Serena. Why are they asking Serena, how's it like to be back playing tennis after having a baby? How many male tennis players have had babies? I mean, they've obviously not physically had babies, but you know what I'm saying. They became fathers, and nobody's asking them how's it feel to be back after you've had a baby. It's just so sexist. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean that part. I mean, because a baby takes a straw.
Verlin, I'm seeing you right now with the yak, 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 yak. You put
Who?
that brown, put that brown liquor down, my brother.
Okay.
Put the brown liquor down, my brother. I'm on this vodka though. Okay, cheers.
You got anything, Chris? Because I don't have anything.
Well, someone said maybe she needs to spend some money and talk to Brene Brown. I mean,
oh, that's my brother. That was my brother, Chris.
Spend some money
you,
on what?
you know I like your brother, so he has smart things to say.
So wait, who's Brene Brown? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
What's up, Jason? Brene Brown, she talks about relationships and mental health and all that kind of stuff. She's really good. She's really good.
But I think that she did address that she was like in
yo Jason.
That she was
in
Jason. Therapy. About to die.
Yeah, but I don't know if they handled the French Open. If the French Open handled it as well as they could have, or at least be like, why don't you maybe come for 5 minutes, or there could have been a compromise in there somewhere, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Verlin, don't put my business in these streets now, Verlin. Stop putting my business in these streets now. Jesus.
But not to be ugly, but that's how usually it's when there's always like a conflict, it always seems to start at the French Open. Because it seems like the French press, I feel like that it's whenever Serena has her worst moments, it's always at the French Open to me.
Well, no,
I don't know.
really.
I'm not being prejudiced against the French. I'm just saying every time shit pops off, it seems to be on them.
I think it's been between the French Open and what's the other one in London? Wimbledon. Yeah, Wimbledon and the French Open. And don't get it twisted.
Well, the one
she's had some bad episodes at in Queens at the U.S. Open.
Well, that's
where they were all rooting for the other people. And not
Osaka
her.
beat Serena. She beat her at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, she did beat her at the U.S. Open. That's when my mother was there. She loves that girl.
And a whole bunch of Americans and people booed her. Come on now. In Queens of all places.
But Serena's fan base, as great as she is, honestly, when you look at her fan base, it is predominantly Black. And when she's playing like these other players, I'm sorry, I think my phone is about to die. She's playing these other players.
Yeah, that plug.
Ooh, I don't even know where I put it.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how Wimbledon's gonna. Someone's made a. I didn't see who it was. Made a great comment about.
That's my brother again.
I wonder if Wimbledon is gonna have a different. I bet you they will. I bet you they'll have a different.
They'll have a different
approach to it. They have to. They would have to.
Yeah,
and also the French Open, Barty, the #1 seed, she dropped out as well. So.
Well, and did y'all see? I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm saying, did y'all to our 18 followers that are listening to us? Did y'all see just on the news earlier today? They said that some Russian tennis player just got cold busted for she was like match fixing or something on the French Open.
Yeah, and I gotta catch that. Which don't surprise me. They're always fucking up.
I mean, they're hacking into everything in the world today. So what the fuck is fixing a guy?
So how do you hack into? So it was for a fixed tennis match. That's what it was.
I think it was like multiple tennis matches she was fixing.
How do you fix them?
I don't know.
As a player,
I was getting ready to come to you guys, and I saw it just came on the TV, and it was like Russian tennis player busted for fixing.
Somebody said basically the same thing boxers do. Maybe she was doing her match.
Oh, well, was she? All right, so Jason, was she fixing her own matches, like in losing, or was she fixing like other people's matches? Which I thought it would be. I'm thinking it would be kind of hard to do.
You play to lose. Yeah, but don't you have to go to like in boxing? It's like a one-off. You know what I mean? You'd have to. So for tennis, if you're gonna try to fix it. You'd have to, I would imagine, win a couple of matches to bring it up to a place where then you can throw the game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was the case of like, if you're going to fix a match and you keep winning, do you get all the way to the finals and say like, you know what, how much money and what was the reasoning behind you throwing a match for tennis? Like, is that much money being bet on tennis? Does that make sense?
I mean, does
So
anybody? I mean, like,
I think so.
I would have never thought that
you
people
can
bet
match with
on
players
tennis.
you know you
Oh
can
no,
beat.
I would think so.
I would have
People
never thought
bet
that people,
on
but I don't.
anything.
Well, that
People
is true,
bet
but
on
like I'm
everything.
thinking like horses, boxing,
Everything.
Yeah, but those are
NFL,
one-off
NBA.
events, though, too. Those are one-offs, like a
Mhm.
boxing match is a boxing match. Tennis is a tournament. I mean, you can do for one match, unless it's like they're in the finals, I would imagine. Yeah, it depends on what bracket you're in. But they
Oh,
came to
okay. So Robbie said they
so
claimed she threw the
she
match
threw a
to a
match to
couple
a couple
Romanian women.
Romanian.
Go
Yeah,
ahead
that's true. They
now.
do.
Oh, to elevate a lower seed, maybe.
Oh.
Now, is that a
That makes
guess,
sense.
or is this actually been? I mean, because I know it just broke. So, is that a guess about the Romanian women, or is that something that they're already starting to report?
Tennis is a wealthy
And
business.
yeah,
It's a
tennis
lot of
is a
money.
super wealthy business, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, rich people. Did you
I mean,
all
it's like
see?
equestrian rich people shit.
Mhm.
That's why they were so upset when the Williams sisters came on the fucking fold. You can't have black
And they
folks up
have
in there
never
disrupting their shit.
forgiven Serena and Venus for bringing all that blackness to tennis,
All
because
the black
they took it to another level.
with
And
their
then
black ass daddy, their black ass mama, hair weaves for days and bonnets for days in the stands and shit, pumping their fist. It's like the graduations. I'm digressing right now. It's like the high school and college graduations where they say, everybody hold your applause until everybody crosses the stage, and all us black folks is like, yeah, okay.
Did you see that one, the recent one? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the
Which
guy
one?
fell over the railing.
Yeah, the guy goes and then climbs back up over the railing.
No, I did not see that one.
Oh, girl, you got to see that. That's a classic. That's an oldie golden from I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh,
But
really?
it's like that. They make the announcement. Nobody claps until the end of the last person walks, and then as soon as a black child's name is called, the family's like, "Whoa!" And this one father was so excited he fell over the damn banister.
Yeah,
and then
got back up.
And then climbed back up. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I hope Wimbledon has a little more consideration for it. And I wonder what she's going through. Does she just not want to deal with the questions? Is that what it is, or just didn't want to deal with it in general?
It. I think she's asking for time to decompress.
Oh.
I mean, she said that she suffers from. She just put it out there. She's like, I suffer from anxiety and depression, and she did say she admitted that time when she beat Serena at the U.S. Open, that literally affected her to the point where from here on in she was freaking destroying people in her future tennis matches afterwards. But she was still anxious about having to sit and have these press conferences with people and even interview with people on the tennis court, because you see, after she won that match in the French Open, she had the interview on the court like they do normally, traditionally. But then what she wouldn't do was interview afterwards,
the
like when when you have to sit at the table and take questions and all that.
I don't think it should be.
She didn't break up with no dude, Melvin. She's still dating that rapper boyfriend of hers. She good.
Who?
My brother was like, maybe she broke up with that dude. She's dating some rapper. I don't know who he is because I'm 53 years old and I don't know that music anymore. So she's dating some rapper. I think he's from LA or something. I forgot his name. If anybody on the live knows who he is, just feel free to post his
Robbie,
name.
you make an excellent point about her. I was just reading as you were talking. No, that it's a testament to her, all the stuff that she has had to go through. I think that they need to bend just a little. Maybe on the court, congratulate the winner and let the loser maybe have a moment to decompress, because if anxiety is a little bit different than just like straight out depression, don't you think? No? Because when
they're intertwined. Whatever it is, it's a mental and emotional exhaustion, or a mental and emotional. It's difficult. It's difficult. So
because I feel like when I'm like feeling anxious, I'm not depressed, but I feel like a wave or something of emotions, and having people crowd in on me can make it worse. So I'm saying if she's feeling anxious and overwhelmed in those moments, I understand her needing to, like, step back for a few minutes. Maybe on the court, you ask her a couple questions, get congratulated
That's
if
only
she's won.
Yeah, that's only if you win. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's only if you
won.
win
But then
the biggest tournament too.
afterwards,
I don't know. Do they do it after every? I don't think they do on the court interviews after every match. They only do it.
No, right.
Oh, for
at the end.
Yeah, but then again, they interviewed her on the match. That was her first match in the French Open, and she won, and they interviewed her on the court. But I guess it's because she's Naomi Osaka, the number one tennis player in the world. They want to get any chance that they can with her. I don't know if they would have done that with the Russian one. That illegal
you can have anxiety without the depression, but she's saying that because that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I know they can kind of coincide together.
Thank you, Robin.
But I was saying that she has both, and I have like anxiety sometimes.
I don't suffer from depression, obviously, but anxiety, I can get a little anxious sometimes. And when I get anxious, like I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I don't know what folks out there feel like when they get
I get anxious.
Anxiety. I get anxious and
don't make that face, Chris.
What filter do you have on your face right now? That's what
happens when I get anxious.
With you right now. No, I feel like I'm gonna have a stone cold heart attack because my heart races. I start getting clammy.
What is your glamour shot?
Is that an Instagram thing? How do you do that?
Yes.
I want to do it too. I want big lips too. See?
Oh.
No, let me speak for everybody.
Okay. Please do so, sir.
Look at the teeth. Good teeth, though. Ow! Yeah!
Anyway, I know we're getting off topic. I just wanted to just...
Hey, Sally says drink some yak, Chris. No, he ain't drinking no yak.
What is yak? Hennessy?
Cognac.
Oh.
Shahida, you about to get your black card pulled right now. What is yak?
I thought it was Hennessy. Isn't Hennessy cognac?
Yes, it's cognac.
Oh, okay. So I was close.
So you were good.
Cognac. I think I have some cognac here. I'm not a
you
big
ain't drinking
fan.
I hate cognac. I don't even like the smell of it. Cognac and tequila, I can't. I'm done. Vodka.
How do you start drinking cognac? Like, who's the first? There's an uncle that you're like.
Berlin. Hey, Sal.
This is delicious.
Answer us.
This is delicious.
Who hipped you to the yak? All our black men on the feed right now. Who hipped you to the yak? It had to be your granddaddy, your daddy, your uncle, your brother.
Like, no one in my family drinks.
I can't.
I got some family members that will drink that yak or some whiskey, brown liquor.
I know my uncles. I don't know.
See, Sally said
what
his granddaddy. It's always got to be a granddaddy, an uncle, a daddy, or a cousin, or some distant brother, or some shit.
My grandfathers were preachers, so they wasn't drinking shit.
So they was drinking.
So they said.
I was gonna say, okay.
I wasn't pulled up with them on Saturday night. I saw them on Sundays. What happened to Chris?
He's getting back on, I think. I'm looking at him on my laptop.
My grandma had some in the cupboard. I don't know what it was. Who was that? It went up so fast.
That's my boy, Sally.
Okay.
Sally.
Like, what?
Oh my God, Melvin. That's my brother, Shahida, Win Addiction. He's
Fred introduced me to Ripple. Now, is that a real drink though?
I don't know what the fuck Ripple is. That's a what the hell, Chris?
Is Ripple a real
crazy
drink?
Brother was like, Fred Sanford introduced me to Ripple. What's Ripple? There's no Ripple. That was some TV show drink.
Look, Mia just said, should I be watching this live?
Oh, is Ripple Mad Dog 2020?
No, I'm just saying that like Mad Dog 2020, Ripple, and what's it? Boone's Farm.
Oh,
my uncles used to drink Boone's Farm.
Hey, Shahida, we had a couple of Boone's Farm, and we had some Boone's Farm in them streets and high school. I'm gonna throw the high school.
Didn't they have like
there.
grape flavor or something like that?
They had all flavors, strawberry,
Tanya,
grape.
we were drinking friggin' what is that?
No, remember we were drinking private stock, and no, we were drinking private stock, and remember what we were drinking? Golden Schlager, because it tasted like Scope. It was like it freshened your breath, and you could go back to class, and nobody would smell it.
What happened to malt liquor? No one's drinking malt liquor anymore.
Oh, I drank malt liquor all through college.
Yeah, but now. I'm talking about now.
Because now we've acquired a taste. We've acquired a taste
Are
now,
they
and
still
it's
selling Colt 45?
hell
I
yeah.
think
Brass
so.
monkey.
You better go to Compton.
Mad Dog, right?
The
He
last
said
time
you
I was
better
in,
go to
listen to me.
Compton.
The last time I was in LA, me and my cousin drove to Compton because I had been out there so many times, and I was like, "Look at here, Negro, you're gonna have to take me. You're gonna have to take me to Compton." And we drove through
She said
Compton.
teenagers. That's the only one drinking malt liquor. Yeah.
Right? Teenagers
Do you
and
remember? Did
college
you ever have
students.
Mickey's?
Yes, Mickey's Big Mouth, and then the
Those are
caps.
good though.
You take those are still good, but you gotta drink them shits ice cold, yo.
I never
Ice
heard
cold.
of that one.
Oh, it's good.
Bitch, girl, next week when we do our thing next week, I'm gonna get a 6-pack of Mickey's Big Mouth, and we gonna sit here and drink them shits out
Mickey's
of
Big
champagne
Mouth?
goblets. Well, that's what it's called, Mickey's, but we used to call them back in the day Mickey's Big Mouth. O-E, Gail. I hear you, Gail Marie.
Yeah.
O-E.
Lingus.
And
Drink that
back in
old
the
English.
day,
Colt 45. But I haven't
it
seen
was
a malt
called
liquor
friggin' 8
commercial.
balls.
I haven't
And
seen a malt liquor
Sally,
commercial.
screw you with the Zima. Nah, we good with that Zima shit. That was the white people's version of malt liquor.
I haven't seen a malt liquor commercial in years.
I haven't seen a malt liquor commercial since
Wait,
Billy
do
D.
you watch
Williams.
BET? I think I saw one a couple of years ago.
I haven't seen
like
one.
on like BET, because wasn't like, okay, well maybe. Yeah, I mean it's been a while because I don't watch like regular TV either, so I don't see those type of commercials anyway. I'm always giving Chris the finger. Anyway.
How do you do that, Chris? Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, I'm going in now because I just. Oh, ooh, that's a little dark. Ooh. Hey, oh, that's a little nice. I feel smoothed out. Ooh, that's like a facelift. That's like a facelift. Playing with filters. Oh, my skin look good. I think I'm gonna keep that. Of course, you have a card one.
I have a magic one. Yeah. This is the worst. This is the worst filter of all time. This one.
Oh, I like this one.
I've seen there's people who look like this.
I know.
You know,
I didn't know that it was.
Oh yes, there is. Remember that lion lady? Remember that lion plastic surgery lady? The cat lady in New York. She was hideous.
Doing that too.
It's like I'm not leaving this filter right here because this filter got me looking good. Sorry,
let me see if I can get one.
I got me good.
Also, we were going to talk about.
We were going to talk about
respectability politics, Black respectability politics, and Monique.
Oh, I thought we were talking about women asking men to marry them.
Let's go there. Let's go there. All right. So, folks, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but for like the past couple of weeks, I have been seeing videos online of women literally dropping on a knee and proposing to men, and I am not for that fuckery. I'm sorry, not sorry. So, Chris, I'm going to need you to chime in as a man.
No. Do not
chime in as a man
for
and
any reason
no.
Ask a man to marry you.
Why?
Never.
Why?
No.
Wait. I'm just gonna be a Karen right now and play devil's advocate. You knew what I was.
The reason why is here. We need to talk about this, about traditions and wanting to be independent women or whatever.
Okay.
Because there are some women. Well, I like to open doors and stuff like that, but there are some women who don't like to have their doors up because it makes them feel like, I can't open the door myself.
Right. Or you calling a woman ma'am. I don't understand how women are so offended by being called ma'am. I actually love it. For me, it's a sign of respect.
Because if you're called ma'am, it's probably because you're over 30, 35.
Well, I am over 30, but even if I wasn't, I don't care if you call me ma'am, because to me, it's a sign of respect. If a man says, yes, ma'am, or hey, ma'am, for me, that's a sign of respect.
Okay, back to the marriage thing, because that kind of like goes off a little bit on something else.
I feel like it's a traditional. Well, first of all, the whole marriage, the ceremony, all that stuff. I never understood why people want to spend $50,000 to $100,000 on a wedding when you can have a party for $10,000 and have that for a down payment on a house.
Chris, can you take that filter off, because it's disturbing me?
Sorry.
You better say that shit again for the people in the back of the church.
I just cannot. All right. So, what did you say? Because I was just thrown off. No, sir.
No, I was saying I'd rather have a party for people who are, want to come to have a small ceremony and then have people come to your party and have a big blowout party and then
Agreed.
take all that extra money that you would have sent and buy a house or put a down payment on something.
Well,
Or
okay,
just
but
keep the
all
money
right,
in the
I
bank.
get that
You
part.
don't have to buy a
Right.
house or do nothing. Just keep that money in the goddamn bank.
But what does
Because-
that have to do with a woman proposing
So
to a
I'm
man?
just talking about traditions,
Oh,
general
okay.
traditions.
Because
So
here's the thing.
traditionally, like,
Go ahead.
if you want to have, it depends on if you want to have all traditional stuff or not. Because traditionally, that's what a man asks a woman to marry them.
Thank
Right.
you.
But women, some people even get offended by if they don't get down on their knee to ask them to marry. Because so
Or
there's
if
all
you don't
kinds of
have,
these.
or if you don't have a ring, because I've seen some marriage proposals of men proposing to women and they don't have a ring. They just ask them, "Will you marry me?" And of course they
Hey,
say yes, obviously.
I was thinking,
But
no, I'll take. Give me 2 chicken nuggets and you want to get married? Yeah, I'll tell you.
cool with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll
Look
take a
here.
chocolate shake. The chocolate shake.
Listen here. I'll take me a friggin' quarter pounder with cheese value meal and a large Coke and be like, "Bitch, you want to get married?" I'll be like, "For real though? You serious? Okay, let's do it." I don't give a shit.
Yeah, of course people can do what they want with their money. I'm just saying, being practical. If you want to be practical, why spend so much money? And I have this thing about, I have a thing about marriage to a certain extent too.
Okay, what's your thing though?
Because how many marriages actually stay together anymore?
That's the point.
Listen to
Well,
me.
I agree with you 110%.
Prince said it a long time ago. Forever is a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. And he done flipped it and wrote the same shit for Sheila E. Where she was like, "Love is forever and that's all your life." Nigga, I don't want to live all my life like that shit. No, I'm done. No, we good here.
So
We good.
so I've always been
Sally, you better shut your damn mouth right now.
What does Sally say? What does Sally say?
Is that Tanya's lying?
Oh.
That
You should be working on. I always had a problem with standing in front of all your friends, all your people, all your relatives, and saying, "For the rest of my life, in sickness and in health, and blah, 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 blah." I have a really tough time doing that because I don't know if I could honestly say, "For the rest of my life," and actually mean it, knowing that probably in 25 years, we're going to be sick of each other or something's going to happen that you don't want to. I think people really should marry. I think you should only marry if there are kids involved, or if it's a tax write-off or something like that. I think you should, if there are kids involved and you want to have kids, I think you should be married. Otherwise,
well, full disclosure, I was married before. I've been divorced now for like over fucking 20 years now. But I got married because I thought that was the thing to do. As a woman, I didn't know any better at the time. I thought that you meet somebody, you're dating them forever, and that was the natural progress. You get married and you have some children. And I knew when I married him, I said to myself, I don't think this is going to work. Like, I don't think this is going to be forever. But I took those vows and was like, until death do us part. And I was like, please, crossing my fingers, like, please, God, don't strike me dead. But
so here, you look like you got something to say. What you want to say? You holding your tongue back. I see you holding your tongue back.
I'm like listening. Because I think when people get married, I know there are situations where people just get married with thinking the way that you two think. Like, it's not going to be forever, but
Chris,
stop. But I think most people, when they do get married, that they believe wholeheartedly that it will be forever.
Yeah,
but I didn't think
that's unrealistic.
I know.
No,
I said there are people like you and Chris that might not think that. But I think
when your husband asked you to marry you,
I was 20 years old. I think there's a difference.
But you thought it was going to be for the rest of your life.
I did.
Honestly, you honestly thought it was going to be for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good for you.
But also the rest of my life didn't seem forever. You know what I'm saying? At 20,
What is the rest? What's the difference between the rest of your life and
wait,
forever?
let me
Not
explain.
forever. Just the rest. I'm not doing it forever. Just until I die.
No, but I
With
didn't.
you.
Like, I thought rest of
I
my
can't.
life, but I'm thinking almost in terms like I'm always going to be this person. That's what I meant.
Mm.
Like, I didn't
But you
think
can,
about growth or how things change or anything like that. I thought, okay, here we are getting married. We're the same people. I didn't know that a baby was going to change that. I didn't know that 3 years was going to change, you know, and bills and all that other stuff because I was not old enough.
Yeah, but even now, people get married and still say all. I have a problem with all of the tradition and all the pomp and circumstance and everything. So much pressure. People spending money to come to your wedding. People buying
No,
things
I
for
agree
you.
with you
All that stuff.
110% on
No,
that.
I
I
agree.
agree.
That's a lot of
I
money.
feel
All
like
that stuff for something that's
for
may not
show,
and
for
most
show.
likely won't.
And I have to say to you, Chris, when I got married, you know, the gentleman that I married, we had talked about having a big wedding, and we literally were planning a big wedding. And then when it got to the point where it was like, now it's time to start writing some checks, we're looking at the money that was going to be spent on a wedding and who we were inviting. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to spend at the time when it was 97. So I'm like, at the time I was like, I'm not trying to spend somewhere up between 15 to 20
It's a
grand
lot of money.
to feed people that are going to do what I do when I get invited to weddings, judge the dress, judge the bridesmaids, judge the groom, and then sit down and eat this meal and be like, this dry ass chicken and this dry ass dressing and these crispy ass vegetables, this shit is disgusting. And why is it an open bar?
So I think that the problem that we're having with the traditional non-traditional things is if you want it non-traditional, then have it non-traditional. But if you want the tradition, then why wouldn't you do all the traditions? Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
if a woman is going to ask the man to marry him, I don't know if a woman asked me to. I don't know what I would. I don't know what I would to try
Listen to
not to
me.
hurt them
No.
because you don't want to hurt their feelings. And usually it's because the man.
I could never do it, and I
But
don't
the
condone it
person
because
that you're
I'm all about rules.
with,
I'm all about
Tanya,
rules. Go ahead,
real
boo.
quick. The person
Go
that
ahead.
you're with would know about your roles, though. I would
You
think.
would think.
You
No,
think
because
No,
I
no?
wouldn't
You'd
ask
like to
no.
somebody
think.
to marry me if I didn't expect a yes from him.
Well, that's why they're dropping on their knees and proposing, because there had to have been a conversation had where they're like, you know, she's like, oh, babe, let's think about getting married, and he's like, yeah, maybe, and it's like, yeah, no, don't don't ever get on your knee and propose to no man.
And you know what?
No.
Why are you
I'm
making?
sorry.
That's what I have another problem with. If you're gonna do an engagement or ask someone to marry you, wouldn't you want to not do it in front?
Bindi wants to ask you something.
Oh, I can't
No,
see
we're
any
letting that
comments.
one go.
She said I was going to ask you something, Brindle.
Brindle 615.
Oh, I can't see. I'm gonna come back in.
Okay,
Now.
can't see it.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead. Do I hear what you're saying?
No, but I agree with him in that I'm sorry. And listen, I may be old fashioned, but nah, I'm not into the women proposing to men. Period. End of story. I don't care
I wouldn't
if
do
a
it.
conversation. I don't care if a conversation was had,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the man and the woman was like, we're together, and you know proposed to me, whatever. Nah, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I think
I
it's.
wouldn't do it, but if a woman did it, I wouldn't want my daughter to do it. But if a woman did it,
I don't want any woman
Why
to do
wouldn't you
it.
want your daughter to do it?
because I wouldn't do it. I would want because in a way I do like the tradition of the man asking the woman, and I
We
do
have
like
roles.
the traditional of the marriage and all that. So I know that I'm a traditionalist on a lot of things. I'm a conservative on, not conservative like fucking Republican conservative, but I'm like conservative in a lot of the way I think on different things. So I know that would not work for me.
Sorry,
But
my
I'm
brother,
okay
my
for it
brother,
for
my
somebody
brother
else.
must be drinking some brown liquor right now. He's like,
What?
all this talking till King Dong walks through door. You change your religion, Negro. You need to
We're
put your
talking to
phone
you,
down.
right?
Mel,
Talking
of
to
course
you.
he's talking to me. I'm his sister.
That's funny.
Mel, why you stop putting my
But
business in these streets?
Melvin, I'm glad you're here because Chris and I talk all the time about how Tanya be like yapping it real hard. I'm single. I don't want to ever get married. Fuck these
No,
guys.
I'm
Blah,
never
blah,
getting
blah.
married again. No, that's one thing.
Okay,
He knows me on that one. I'll
but
never
you
get
be
married
like
again.
dead on with no religion, and me and Chris be like this. And we be looking at each other. We don't believe you. What do you say? Oh, he's still saying the same thing. We don't believe you.
He's sitting at home because he's listening to my mouth right now. He's sitting at home pondering, do I respond or do I just lay low in the background?
He said enough. He said enough.
Why am I not seeing the things?
The response, they look like.
All I have is all this talk until King Don.
That's all I have.
Oh, that's it. That's all I have too.
Okay.
That's
good.
all I have too. So we're good.
But okay, so.
Oh wait. Robbie says she once do what? I once saw a man propose to a woman in a fancy restaurant. She said no and stormed out. If that was the most.
But why would you even want to take that risk of
I would never do that.
Inviting everybody.
My pride would never put myself in that position.
But I even almost think that a marriage should almost be the same type of thing where you don't discuss everything at the wedding with, this is what we're going to do. This is something.
Right.
So after you get married, no one needs to know your business. So I think the proposal should be private and between the two people. You can have someone videotape or you videotape yourself, but it's supposed to be an intimate thing between two people. And then when you get married, yes, you can celebrate with people. That'd be great. But I don't think the whole ceremony of like the father walking down the aisle, and if you don't have a father, who are you going to choose, and who are you going to sit so-and-so, and how much money are you going to spend on it? You're just so, you went ring shopping first, so I know that she was down to get married.
Robbie.
Oh, Robbie.
And the 22 grand just lost.
So how much resentment would women have if the ring is not up to par?
Yeah. I mean, and do you buy the ring on your own and surprise her, or do you know her well enough to say, oh, or not well enough that you're going to be like, we're going to have this conversation because the ring, she might not like the ring.
I would
and now
imagine
she's not going to say yes.
At that point, you'd be like, I like this type of ring. Or ask her best friend what type of ring she likes. I like this. Because you don't want to buy the wrong ring and then give it. And she'd be like, oh, I don't like Princess Cut.
But this is why I say that I think a lot of people get married and why the divorce rate is so high is because basically before you ask that person to marry you, you should know a lot about what their likes, what their dislikes, what you would think. Come on.
My 3 favorite words, you would think.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's why marriages fail.
For the rest of your life, I'm going to marry you for the rest of your life, that you're going to, in sickness and health, when someone gets sick, that you're going to be there for them. People don't do that.
Exactly, and they don't do that. They walk away. Those vows are a fraud. The vows are a straight up fraud. Not to everybody, but to a majority of people. In sickness and in health, through goodness, with good times and bad, because let a motherfucker lose their job. Let a motherfucker lose their job, and they ain't bringing in no money. The bitch or the man is out the door. Gone.
I agree. But that again, it goes back to the maturity of that couple. Who?
Oh, you're so good. You're like a politician. But
right.
let me interject this but.
I don't know. There's the combination of traditional stuff and non-traditional. I think the whole marriage thing is
overrated.
Not overrated. It's antiquated. I really think it's antiquated. I think first of all,
the selection process
before you get married.
Who said that?
You both have to go to therapy. You have to go to therapy.
That would help a lot.
Therapy to see if you're ready for marriage. Period.
Oh, let me tell you,
True.
when I
wish I went to therapy before I got married, because I would have never got married.
I was 20 years old. I had really no, even though, you know, I'm coming from my parents' home, had no idea what really what it took to be married. One, I expected I expected my sex life to be like fucking all my children. It wasn't like that. So it was just like, it started off bad. But I think especially young women, and I don't like to compare myself because I know I married very young. You should be a lot older when you get married.
No one said anything to you, Shahida?
Huh?
No one said anything to you, Shahida?
My mother said on the morning of my wedding that I didn't have to do this, that I could go on the honeymoon with my cousin Donna. That's what she told me.
That's a good mom.
But
that's a good mom, though, to give you that option. But what and when you heard that, what did you say? What did it do to you?
I was very, very hurt. I was very hurt that she didn't trust my decision. But
because at 20 we thought we were grown and we knew everything.
And my mother's point was that she felt that it wasn't going to work because I wouldn't have the support from his family. His mother did not like me, and it became a big strain in the marriage or whatever. And then the fact that we were very young.
My sister just said, same here. My mom said, you still have time to change your mind. That's a good mom.
Oh, Vanessa, yeah, that is a great mom. That's
so now I have a story similar to Vanessa's. But no,
don't be acting all brand new now, shit.
But if you say that on the morning that I'm supposed to be getting married, at that point it's kind of late. Because
so she never said anything before that.
She probably did, but I felt like
you didn't listen to it.
No, and I wasn't going to listen to it that morning either.
So it doesn't make a difference what she said, as long you're going to do what you want to do. So you're saying she should have maybe said it beforehand, or that was the first time she said it? Any other time, it doesn't matter if it's the day of, at least she said it once. At least she said it once.
And
so many people go into a marriage
listen to me.
Knowing it's not going to work. Knowing that
Shahida's mother, and your mother is gangster. Your mother went in on your wedding day.
Her wrong.
Oh, yeah. Prove her wrong.
I stayed in it longer to prove her wrong. And
you stayed in the marriage longer to prove? Wow, really?
We getting into some open shit right
now.
I hate this motherfucker.
Oh, Lord.
But my mom, she ain't gonna break
me. My mother ain't gonna. What my mother ain't gonna do. What you ain't gonna do, Mama, is be like, I told you so. What you ain't gonna do, Mama, is come to me and say, bitch, I told you so. Yeah, you already know.
But again,
how long did you know that you wanted to get divorced? Before you actually did because of your mother.
Now
what's the time frame between when you knew you want to get divorced and you were going to stay in it because you didn't want your mom to say I told you so?
When I went into labor with Mia.
Oh wow.
And this person was nowhere to be found, and I was stuck at home all day with a 1-year-old in labor. And literally when I was like, when his mother had to, I had a police escort to the hospital. And
where was he? Where was he?
He was out buying a fucking new car, just living his life, I guess.
Did he know that you were in labor?
He knew he took the day off to be home with me because I said, I think today is the day, and then he went out.
You would know.
He went out like 10 o'clock that morning. And I swear to God, we had to call the police to escort me to Boston. We were living in Brockton, to escort me to Boston. And he arrived like 10 minutes after we got there. But it was the iciest delivery you ever want to experience. I was so it was around that point. And then I think the breaker was one day we went to get gas, and he went in there and bought some cigarettes and some chips and didn't buy anything for anybody else in the car.
Oh.
Not even a lollipop for my little babies. But I stayed in there.
For how much longer?
For a year longer.
Wow.
But those were the two things that stood out. So I resented him so hard. We weren't even having sex anymore. It was broken. But then I was pretending like everything was fine to everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I just lived a lie that entire time.
Well, that's usually the case when
and I did go to
that for a
therapy.
minute.
I went to marriage therapy to try and fix it, but I just went. He didn't want to go, so it was just me.
That's ridiculous. I would have been divorced twice already. I'd have been on my second divorce. If I had gotten married, I'd have been on my second divorce. I already know that. I know that but I've avoided all divorces because I know I would have had 2 divorces. I probably would have had some kids, but I would have 2 divorces at least. The first one, I'd probably been too young, like 23, because I thought I was going to have. I remember with my best friend in college, we were traveling around Europe, at 20 years old.
Oh yeah, you told us about your best friend in college.
When we're both 40, we're going to take our 20-year-old sons and we're going to do it as a foursome. I don't have any kids, and he just had a baby. The baby's 2 years old. He's 53.
Wait, he did?
And how old is he?
He's 53. He is a toddler right now. So we're not going to Europe anytime soon unless they're going to wheel us around in a wheelchair. But
so you wouldn't have given away half of your shit twice.
Exactly, Robbie. Exactly.
I don't know who Robbie's alive is, but Robbie's alive is killing me right now.
Instead of marriage,
that's true.
Anyway, but yeah, twice easily and not saying that I didn't love the women or wanted to be with them or think that it was just going to be perfect and I was going to try the hardest. But people change, things change.
Absolutely.
And I kept thinking to myself over and over in my head, forever
is a mighty long time.
Forever, Chris? And if I can say, ooh, forever? Yeah. But you can't ask someone to marry you and then get married with the feeling like, okay, let's give it our best shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and I think a lot of people go into it already having issues that they never resolve. I mean, we see that on friggin' stupid Married at First Sight.
Lord Jesus, that's not.
What?
Rewind. But even we're not talking about that until July.
Okay.
Yeah, but even then, the tradition of marriage and the actual ceremony and all that kind of stuff, there's so much extra pressure that takes away from the relationship, I feel. Like it's all a big mask and a show and a parade.
Right. Yeah, that's
so traditional. It's like it's a circus.
It is a circus.
Literally dressing up in
and then they stress so much about it.
On a bridesmaid dress that you are never going to wear again.
Never going to wear.
And it's just such a it's so not hypocritical, but it's like all of this and it's like having a Rolls Royce but having no wheel. You know what I mean? It's like it can kind of go, and it's a nice car, but you need to. And so many relationships are damaged even before it gets to a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, Brooklyn Red. I agree with Chris too. It is about presentation.
No,
I'm just saying
that's tough though.
But I think it's also people just think that that's again like I thought. It's just the process. You're with somebody. You're of a certain age.
There you go. Jump the broom and a potluck.
Jump the broom and a potluck.
Oh, and I would have actually loved to have that as part of my ceremony.
Let's talk about the ring thing. Let's talk about the ring thing.
What?
So if as a woman, knowing that your man may not have the money to buy you the ring that you really want, and you're okay with a ring that would
oh God, really, Chris?
At a point, and I'm like,
oh I just lose you for a second.
I'm
on roll too. Am I good now?
You were gonna roll, but you got to start all over. Yeah, we're good now. Right. You got to start over again.
So the theory about the wedding ring. I'm just worried about the wedding ring. So if you, as a woman, would you?
Dude, what is wrong with your phone?
Fix your Wi-Fi.
What? You freeze again? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Did I freeze again?
Yes.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at. Okay, here you
What
are.
is going
You're back.
on?
So,
I'm on a roll.
all right. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But you had started saying, would you want your man to spend $30,000 on a ring or what? Continue.
Right. But $30,000 on a ring, but you really want the 100 to 300,000, but 30,000 is one thing, right? But you're not going to get he can only afford maybe 10,000 if you're lucky. All right, but you really want the 30,000. What is the limit that you'll tamp your excitement about the ring and besides the intention behind the ring? That you're placing a monetary value or how it will look to other people and all that kind of stuff. I have a problem with if a brother can't afford a certain amount of ring.
Let the women answer. You're asking the question.
You okay with whatever they give you and are happy with whatever they give because the intention behind it, or do you need a certain standard of ring?
No. Go ahead, Shahida. I'll let you take this one.
I'm looking at Brooklyn Red. She said 20,000 on a ring, pay off debt and travel. I get that too. My thing is, I'm older, so I don't know. I would like to
the ring is a reputation.
A younger woman's point of view on that. But as for myself, a ring, I don't even need a ring because I hate jewelry. I lost my wedding ring on my honeymoon.
Girl.
But yeah, I don't
$2,000, really.
See, I agree with you, Shahida. When I got engaged,
2,000 is that too low? Is 2,000 too low for a ring?
No,
I don't think so either.
No, listen. When I got married,
I need a car. I don't need a car.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
She said, "I don't need a car on my finger."
I didn't.
Katie,
I didn't know I was getting asked to be engaged.
Katie said it was a representation of the man. It was how
the
much
ring is the representation.
So yeah, but brother, what if you can't afford the ring that you want to give her? A lot of women will be like, "Really, this is the ring you got me?" Do you see you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is the where does the intention behind the ring get lost?
I don't know if most women would do that. I think obviously materialistic women would do that, but sometimes
diamonds don't need to be real.
True that.
Well, they've got these. Have you seen that guy? There's a guy who goes around. There's a guy in high school.
Oh, I saw that. Yes, and
the guy has
he has a thing.
A diamond thing that'll see if it's a real diamond. And he went to all his teachers and he goes, "Yeah, Miss Johnson, is that a ring? Can I see if it's a real?" And he went and tested everybody's ring, and people got on the phone with their husbands. That was the greatest.
Did you see the one? Did you see the one with the brother and his wife? And she had on. It had to look at the ring when she did her hand like this. To look at the ring, it literally had to be at least 6 or 7 carats, right? If it was real,
right?
And they looked like the both of them looked like they weren't. He, first of all, didn't look like he was affording that kind of shit. And he's like, "Oh, my man." He's like, "My man, that's a nice ring. Is that real?" He's like, "Hell yeah." And of course, she's like, "You damn right." And she's like, flossing her ice right. And I'm just like, that shit ain't real. No. And he's like, "How much you spend on it?" Now, first of all, if a man spends any money, whether it's $100 or $100,000, trust and believe me, he's gonna be like, when you ask him how much you spend on that ring, he's gonna say, "I spent $1,500 or $15,000 or $150,000."
Right.
He's gonna know how much he spent on that ring. He asked the dude, he's like, how much you pay for that? He was like,
expensive.
It was expensive. Yep. It costs a lot of money, like over $100,000. And she's standing there. She's like, yeah, And all of a sudden he's like, "Well, let's check it out." And he bought out his little wand, his little diamond wand, and say like if it was real or not. He's like, "Well, let's look at it. Are you willing to test it?" And his face was like, "Oh yeah, no."
So here's the
She's
question.
like, "Yes."
Here's a question for both of you and for the audience as well. If you got a ring that looked really nice and you've had it for 5 years in your marriage. You've been married for 5 years. You guys are getting along. You're thinking about having kids, and you find out that the ring was fake. How upset would you be? And what would and you were happy with it before, mind you. You didn't doubt it, but you find out that the ring, instead of being $20,000, was actually $2,000. How upset would you be, and what would you say?
The only thing I would be mad about is that you just misled me because there was no reason.
Thank you.
What if it didn't say anything?
That would be
What
me.
if
If
anything?
my brain would be like, why couldn't
that
you
it
come
was
to me
less?
and tell me that it wasn't real?
If you were getting it reset or something, or your fingers got too big because you got
Or
fat
you're getting
after
it
got
appraised
married,
for insurance. Now you bought a
Did you hear what I
house and you
said?
need insurance.
What?
Did you hear what I said?
No.
I said if your ring gets too big because you got so fat after you got married, and then you had I'm joking. Yeah, so you go to resize it. You go to resize it, and they check out it's like, tell me how many carats it is, and they go check it out, and you find out it was a CZ, and it was $2,000 instead of $20,000. But he took that maybe $18,000 and invested it in something.
Amen, Brooklyn.
And then.
Like I said, I'm not going to be mad that the ring was different. But if I was misled to believe that it was 20,000 when you.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't. Okay,
that would be my problem.
He didn't say anything. You assumed.
That would be my problem.
Real.
No,
you assumed it was real.
If he never said anything to me and I assumed it, then who can I get mad at? I'm not going to get mad about the fact that
let me jump in. I don't think that I would be mad per se. I would be more disappointed in the fact that if we are a unit, you know what I mean? Like, we're married, we're together, and we're happy. I would be more disappointed in the fact that how come, like, you just gave me this ring? Like, if it was a cubic zirconia or some sapphire or what have you, why couldn't you just say it to me?
Because
I'm still gonna marry you. If I love you,
let me ask you a whole different scenario.
Okay.
What if after five years, he comes to you and says, "Hey, babe, that ring that I got you is not real, and I wanted you to know, because we were talking about using it for maybe a down payment on something, but we can't because the ring is not real." And he comes to you and tells you that. How do you feel about now? Because he did come to you and say, but it was a token of my affection. It still means everything.
But why'd you lie to me in the beginning?
What if he didn't say anything? What if he didn't say anything and you just assumed it?
Then he should have corrected me on my assumption.
So if he, so let's just go off of Chris's hypothetical.
If you're happy with the ring,
didn't say
anything, and I'm still happy. I'm still happy with my CZ.
So then why did you assume? If I say it's 3 carats, it's a nice, beautiful ring. It's 3 carats. I didn't say diamonds. I said it's a 3-carat ring. It's this and the other. I gave it to you. You don't know how much it costs, but he can say, you don't know any of that information. But 5 years later, he says, by the way, babe, your ring is fake.
And I would just be like, I would be like,
really
wow, all this time I thought it was real. Why didn't you just tell me before?
Well, I'd be like, first of all, I'd be like, that's good. I'd be like, that's good quality fake because my finger didn't turn green and I didn't catch a fucking infection up my elbow.
Because if he gave it to you, if he said, I got a ring for you, and it wasn't real, you may not say, I want to be married to you. But
wait, no, Chris. But this is what I said about knowing who your partner is before you even marry them. Because if you knew who I was before, you would know that wouldn't be a big deal to me.
Well, I'm talking about in generalities, because you don't like rings.
But you asked it to us. You asked it to us.
Right, but
and I'm answering the question.
I'm saying the example of a ring, or the example
I would not totally lose my shit only if I thought that I was misled. That would be what I would.
And Tanya, you'd be disappointed.
But I would feel.
I wouldn't feel. I'm not even a jewelry
person.
I wouldn't feel misled. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I would feel misled if I didn't know anything right off the bat, and then he either came to me 5 years later and said, "Hey, that ring ain't real," or if I went to get it appraised because I'm responsible and I'm like, we just purchased a home and now we have to get these insurance policies and now I got to get the good shit appraised i.e. my ring, and they say your ring's worth $200, I'd be disappointed.
I thought we said 2,000.
I wouldn't want
No, 200.
2,000. I say 200.
200.
I'm like 200. I'm
No,
like
200. You can tell if it's not a real ring.
I'm like,
That's
I'm
like,
like
what the hell?
200 from the
you
pawn
get
shop.
one of the ones
I'm
that
like,
has an adjustable
200
band on it.
from the pawn shop there. I'm like, I would be disappointed that someone else had to tell me, or I'd have to find out some other way.
Look at what Bringle said. There's a library of articles on how the diamond engagement ring has nothing to do with marriage, and it was a marketing tool of a diamond company.
Of course it was. We all know that.
I believe that too.
I already know that.
Yeah, but women will often get upset if they don't get the ring that they want.
A lot of women
see,
do.
I've never been a fan of the women that are like, they're in a relationship, a committed relationship, and then they've already had the discussion that they're going to get engaged, and they have to choose the ring and show the ring that they want to their spouse, because that just takes
Rings
the whole level of surprise.
What if he can't afford it though?
If he can't afford it, then wait, can I ask a question?
That's on
Where are we in the stages of our life?
Oh, that's true. Well, okay, then you can do any kind of business scenario. Yeah. So you are 30.
If we're 30 and we're just starting out, then that money should be for our house, our kids, and.
Well, why would that be different from in your 20s?
The same thing. That money should be the same for your house, for your kids. You don't need to like Brooklyn Red said. I don't need a car on my finger when I'm 20 and I'm just starting out.
But that shouldn't be just for 30 in the 30s. That should be for everything. That should be for 20s, 40s. You should be like, no. We're not going to do a marriage. You should be for the house, the kids that are coming, as opposed to.
But when you're like in your 40s and 50s and you're probably getting remarried, or you've already established and got all that stuff.
Couldn't afford her expectations. Wouldn't have been much as all about her girlfriends and the status and how she would. Exactly. It's all about how it's appearances. Like if you got engaged, everybody wants to see your ring.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you go like this, and they go, did you decided to get a ruby? Yeah, it's a garnet, and it means a lot because garnet was our stone. And then you'd be like, you wouldn't have any judgment on that. You wouldn't be like, girl, he gave her a garnet ring, and the brother would be like,
look. That's no different than the sister, like last year or 2 years ago. There was a sister online on the internet, or I should say on the social media, that was like, and I just messed up my whole thing here. I don't know what happened. Okay, there we go. So there was a woman like 2 years ago, and she was obviously a heavier set woman, and she got engaged, and she was so happy that she got engaged, and literally the ring was small as hell. It was like literally suffocating her finger.
Oh, I remember that.
And the diamond, it wasn't even a real diamond.
Right, it was like
a chip. And she was so excited that she got engaged. She was happy for that, right? She was happy to get engaged and have that ring. And the internet trolled her over that ring. Like, you got them fat sausage fingers with that shitty ass ring. She was beside herself over that. That was just
but that feeds into the whole thing of
it does.
Are you going to be upset when you show your ring to your friends and your family and you go, oh, that's how much he cares about you? Because that's the value that you put on it.
That's right.
And other people put on it, not how your relationship is.
Yep.
But that's where we have moved to in society
about I don't care what people think
being judged by others is more important than what we have going on.
But that's the same thing as a wedding. That's the same thing as having a wedding. It's the same thing as having a wedding. You're getting married in front of people. You can get married by yourself and have a nice small thing. You don't need all this extra stuff. It's the same thing. The same thing.
Or how about this?
I mean,
how about you can be with somebody and be in love with them?
You can have a party.
Or how about you be in love with somebody?
Party right after you walk down the aisle with your
You gotta have the
friends.
dress. You gotta spend $30,000 on the dress. You gotta have flowers.
No.
You gotta have a venue.
You don't have to. You choose to.
Yeah, but
might as well.
Because there are a lot of people that I know that, like, I follow a lot of Instagrammers or whatever, and I know a woman who got married and she had on a $30 dress and absolutely stunning for her wedding dress.
That's not the norm. That's not the norm.
No,
you know that.
But I think you see that more often now because of Instagram.
Yeah, but
I
more
do.
often as opposed to the norm. And what normally there are wedding planners that there's a word. Our whole thing is about married at first sight. It's a whole racket. It's a whole thing. So that's all pomp and circumstance. And people, you care how your wedding was great. You care what people
Thrift
bring
store
you.
vintage. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You care what you care what they bring you.
Yep.
How was the wedding? The pictures that you're never going to look at again.
Yep.
All that stuff for other people. It's for other people.
That's
all
why
for
I
other
go to
people.
City Hall.
And
Thank
your
you,
family.
Jesus.
So your mother can be there and your father can be there, and
they can brag.
You can just get married and have a party afterwards and have everybody meet. Period.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
There's no reason for a big marriage ceremony.
No.
And the ring, I think the whole ring thing is bullshit because once you take the ring off, you can just have a wedding ring on there and not have your big rock on there, and it means the same thing. The same
or
thing.
you could just not even
so why
have no
would I
rings.
give you a band to start off with?
Yep.
Why does it have to be 2 months salary of I got it. Which ring? She doesn't like a princess cut. I got her a princess cut. I mean, why can't I just give you a band that in 15 years when your fingers are too fat because you have 2 kids and
Did you see Robbie's like, did y'all see the article about the Indian couple where the wife died during her wedding and then the guy turns around and marries her sister?
Her sister. I did
the
see
body
that.
was still in the house.
That's awesome.
Well, I guess, you said Indian couple. That's a culture thing there. Because sometimes, like in Middle Eastern cultures, if a spouse dies, it's usually, especially if it's a wife's husband that dies, the brother, if he's single, steps up and takes the place. Yeah, of course he'll tag team, but I'm trying to put it a little bit more eloquently. And take the responsibility of his brother's family. So I can see where that happened, but that's still a little trippy. But
I'm still on the whole thing of like a lot of women. I'm not saying all and I know people that, but a lot of women want the nice ring to represent to their friends and family. And so this is the worth that I am to him, just like a dowry in Thailand, just like that. How many cows can you give?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. That is.
I think it's bullshit though.
Yes.
I think it's so much pomp and circumstance.
I think
that people care about it so much that it even clouds what the meaning behind it is in the first place.
And I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying also too that the traditional wedding, if you don't like that, that's fine. Then you don't have that. But I feel like a lot of people do like the whole idea of walking down walking down the aisle, family and friends, and then and it doesn't have to be like, this big $50,000, event. I mean, I had a fairly big wedding, but
how much you spend your wedding?
My parents.
How much you spend your wedding?
I have no idea. My parents took care of that.
Do you want to know how much I spent on my wedding? Nobody's asking TT.
TT, how much you spent on your wedding?
$65. And a dinner afterwards.
It was, and then my parents
125
gave us too our honeymoon as a wedding gift. So I know it was a lot, but I like that whole tradition. I like the whole gown thing and everything. And I can appreciate that. But I do think before people get married, like you said, there needs to be an acknowledgement of who they are marrying, what their expectations are in that marriage, some couple therapy. There are things, I think the process of getting married is short.
If you had heard that at 20, what would you have done? The same thing. You would have gotten married.
If I heard what at 20?
The same thing your mother was trying to tell you, or you went to a couple therapy with your fiance.
Yeah, the therapist told me to leave too, and I didn't.
Well, see, that's my point. That's exactly my point.
But I had
you.
children. I was trying to make it work, and when it just couldn't work anymore, then it was done. But I tried. You can't say I didn't try.
Yeah, you tried. Yeah, you did. I give you that. I will give you that mad respect on that one. Boo boo. You tried.
I did. And
I can honestly say I'll never do it again.
That's
One and done. I'll never do it again.
I would have gotten remarried maybe 10 years ago. I feel like now at 53, I don't see the big point in it.
Okay.
And actually doing a whole big wedding thing. I don't see the point in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a committed relationship, but I'm not, and I don't even know about all that because I'm too set in
Thank
my
you,
ways now.
Gail.
Right? Go ahead, Gail.
Thank you. I tried.
I'm too set in my ways, so
No, I give you
I don't
all.
know.
I mean, good,
Yeah, I
good
give
for
you all
for
that
hanging
shit.
in there. I'm just saying I couldn't do it.
But again, like I said, there were children involved, and then there was my ego involved.
See, look, you should do like my friend. She invited everyone to her birthday dinner, and then there was a surprise.
Exactly. I love that idea.
That's great.
That's a great idea.
I love that.
But
people coming thinking that it's like a dinner party, and then it's actually a wedding.
Yeah, but you look how much money you save and stress.
That is
of
true.
Planning a wedding and arguments with negotiate all that fucking stress and bullshit.
But
it's real. That's not what he was about. It's not even about the ceremony.
That's one thing I didn't do. I was not a bridezilla. I was not like, I feel like as me, I'm always respectful of other people's feelings and what they can contribute. So I never disrespected anybody in like my wedding party or anything like that. When I see those women acting like that, I always say they don't need to get married. If
like the women who are wearing Monique, are you Monique now? Like women don't.
Oh, like the women like me, the women like me that go to other people's weddings.
They should wear their bonnets in the store.
Or the women like me that go to other people's weddings, including in my family, and I'm like, this venue is tied. That dress is horrible.
No, but no, you were saying, am I like Monique and criticizing women with bonnets on their head?
Remember when they go out in public, the whole controversy that Monique was saying.
I don't like that. No, I don't.
You don't. Oh, you don't. You look. Yeah, you sat back like this. No, I don't.
No. Listen. I listen.
I don't like pajamas.
I don't like the idea of it. I don't like it. But I am not. I would not take it as far as Monique to tap women on their shoulders and address it with them. Listen.
But what was she wearing though?
She was in the house. She was in the house.
We don't know what she was wearing at the. We don't know what she was wearing at the airport. She was at her house and did this video.
Even when she's talking about at her house, she was not looking. She was looking all whatever.
She just woke up. Like
right.
Well, yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
So, I mean, on a flight, if your toes should never be out in the air on a flight.
Never.
I don't care.
Never. You should never wear shorts. And I don't even wear shorts on a plane.
Top of it.
I don't care if it's 100,000 degrees wherever I'm going. I will always wear leggings. I'll either wear my legs is covered up and socks and shoes. I'm not wearing flip flops. I'm not wearing open toe shoes. I'm not wearing shorts where my skin is exposed to the seat or anything. I'm dressing up. I mean, like, and I look appropriate. I'm not all gussied up to the nines like back in the 70s when they flew and smoked, cigarettes on the planes and looked alive.
But everybody used to dress up to go on a plane.
When I know.
On a plane, you dress up.
Or the train,
whenever I go for
Remember,
business,
people used to dress up to go on the train.
Right. Whenever I go on a business trip and I'm flying, I always wear a suit. That's my thing now. I wear a suit because I'm going to work. I'm acting someplace across the world. I put a suit on. Oh, yeah.
You have to.
Remember in Vancouver, on my way up to Vancouver, I had that cute gray suit on?
Yes, you did. You look very cute.
My Yankee hat?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I remember that.
And it's a special suit. It's called an X suit that I can literally, it's a little stretchy, but I can literally pour water on it. It's waterproof.
Wait, is that the gray jacket that you had when you said I like that. What is that material?
Yes. So it's like, I can be in the rain and have a hood, and I can be in the rain with it and not get wet.
Well, goddamn. I need me a whole.
I have some shit like that. I always have some shit. Yeah,
now, where'd you get that from? You had that made for you?
I found
obviously. You didn't buy that.
I'm a huge Indiegogo funding. What's the other one? Go find me. What is it?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Indiegogo and
it's like Kickstarter. Indiegogo, something like that. It's
I'm a huge I always look on all their. I get the email every time. Like I bought I bought a couple of hand drones that are supposed to take your picture. One didn't work. One didn't fly right. I bought a really cool translator so I can have it here and I can put my this thing in and I can put it down and I can have a conversation with someone in another language, and it's doing it in real time. I got like these different plugs. I got what else did I get?
Put something on
my
Kickstarter.
Vesties. I got these shoes, sneakers that are the most comfortable things, but they're completely waterproof. I like waterproof shit, obviously you can tell, but completely waterproof, and they're stylish and they're great. So I got all of these Indiegogo things. I love all this stuff. So how do we get into this again? What were we talking about?
We were talking about women in bonnets, respectability politics.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing.
I got a specific reason to get into all this other stuff. Anyway.
Because you're talking about wearing a suit when you travel because when you travel.
Yes. Getting away
we were talking about how we've gotten away, like back in the day, people used to dress up. I mean, dress to the nines to fly, because flying was a privilege back in the day, not like it is today. But my only issue with it was, why are we just? I agree. Like, I'm not a fan of. Trust me, I fly a lot. Well, pre-pandemic, used to. But when I was flying, and I'd see sisters in the airport with their pajama bottoms and their flippies on and, you know, their bonnets, and I'd just be like, oh Lord. But I would do that to them, but I'm also doing it to everybody, regardless of your race. Like, how the hell you gonna get up out of bed? You didn't even comb, like, you already look like you didn't even run a comb through your hair or took in a bath, for that matter, and you flipping up in here with your pajama bottoms on and a blanket across your shoulders. And you just gonna get on this plane. A lot.
And I think, well, Monique was specifically speaking to Black women, and I understand, but it is, somebody mentioned, and I think it was Gail or Robbie said that it's a testament to how far we have gone from how people dress in the house, and, you know, or just walk outside with anything. You don't care. I have a problem with women who have a huge gut and then have a shirt that comes just below their waist. I don't understand it. And then when you say something, people are like, you know, you should be able to do or show anything you want of your body. I don't know. I don't feel that way.
I was in the supermarket today. I'm glad you saw that.
Going to the DMV.
I was in the supermarket earlier today, and I was walking up the water aisle, and I'm at one end, and this woman was at the other end. She couldn't have been no more than probably 30. She probably weighed like 350 pounds, little short girl, but had on
says cutie. No.
Had on a tube top sundress that was too tight. And as I turned the corner to go up the aisle, all I said out of my mouth was, "Oh Lord." I couldn't even fix to grab my phone to try to sneak a picture or a video, because all I thought about was you. Because I was like, this is everything Shahida talked about, is these women that walk out the house with their big giant bellies, their flabby arms. And the worst part about it was, not only was she overweight, and this dress was a tube top, skin tight mini dress that she had on, a sundress, but then she walked by me and I had to turn around, and she had on granny bloomers that were too tight, and you saw the whole outline of it. And I was just like, fix it, Jesus, please fix this.
And I don't like to talk about people's dress or whatever. I'm just saying, when I expect when people go out that you should try to look your absolute best. Look your absolute best. And sometimes, okay, like, and sometimes you do have a faux pas. I had on a button-up shirt that I wore to work yesterday. And as I'm at work, I'm realizing this fucking shirt is just too tight. It's just, I'm gonna have to retire this shirt. But I had to go through the day with this shirt on. But I know now that, no, I've obviously cannot wear a size 2 shirt anymore. So the shit is gone, because it kept unbuttoning and it fit badly. So I know when you put things on sometimes in the morning, you know, if it doesn't fit well, you should always try and have something that fits well. And I don't think a lot of people really care anymore. They just, I like it, I'm gonna wear it. No, get your right size.
That's all that matters. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I don't know
agree.
what happened to Chris.
He
I
jumped
understand,
off. I see him.
but
I'm
why are we
watching him
black
now,
and
but
brown so judgmental towards each other? I get what you're saying. It's, I mean, trust me, I'm not saying it's just black and brown or whatever.
no.
I am saying that when I see women outside like that, yeah, I look and I'm like, I'm sorry. I feel like you should always put your best foot forward when you walk out the door. That's all I'm saying. And I think that some people go outside like, if you have a gut and it looks like you're 4 or 5 months pregnant and you're wearing a crop top, I don't find that attractive. I don't think
No.
that looks good for you. It doesn't look good. And I feel, as black people who are oppressed by ants, I feel we black people are treating each other the same way that people, no, I don't think so. I get what you're saying, and I understand where you're trying to go with that, but you can't put me on the same level of a white person talking to a black person, because I'm not going to go up to any person and put my view on them. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you, but I'm never going to go up. And one thing I never do, I might not like the way somebody is dressed, but if they came up to me, I have nothing but love for you. That's in that conversation. I only save that for like my immediate family or somebody, maybe you shouldn't wear that. That's not a good look. Nope, you need to try it. You need to take that size 2 shirt on like I had on yesterday and put it and retire it in the closet. People I don't know, I'm never going to approach them in that way, in that manner.
No. And I'm an equal opportunity judgmental person. Like,
of course, not everyone has the opportunity to look good. I don't quite get what you mean by that. Because, I mean, there's a difference when you see somebody who is homeless or struggling and they might not have the money, like little children. If you see like little children coming to school and they have high waters on something, of course not, you wouldn't judge them. I'm talking about grown working people that, I might see or assume that they're working. I would hope that they're working, because they're of age to do so. I think when you see somebody wearing club clothes and it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's a little bit,
they're just coming back from someplace.
Huh?
They're just coming back from someplace.
They could have more of a life than I do.
Yeah, exactly. Walk of shame.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, you can go on to, it could be, but then there are places that you can go to update your weight. You can go to thrift stores. I mean, Mia will tell you, I'm like a big thrifter.
All right,
let's just say this. Let's just end this at this point and say, look, you don't have to spend a gang of money.
No, you don't. You absolutely
look decent.
Don't.
You know what I mean? And it isn't just, I mean, of course, Monique struck a chord within the black community with specific to black women about the whole bonnets and flip-floppies or whatever she was saying with the shoes, the flippies they were wearing and the pajama bottoms. But trust me, it ain't just us. It ain't people that look like us out there looking a hot mess in the airport. OMG. Hi, Prince, showing us your unmentionables. Daddy. Hi, Prince.
But I think black women take the hit harder than
yes,
other.
I agree.
Because we've taken the hit harder. We've taken the hit harder on everything.
Everything. And that's why if you do criticize or if you offer your opinion on something like this, then you get that kind of pushback. I think she was very aggressive in how she did hers. But, but plenty of people have said it, time and time again. Every couple of years, there's somebody that comes out and say, why are you wearing these bonnets or whatever? And, and women choose to keep doing it. But again, I say, a bonnet is one thing, but we got so many like beautiful headscarves that you could just like wrap your head around it.
I mean, look gorgeous all day.
It doesn't necessarily have to be one of those 99-cent satin bonnets. There's so many ways you can cover your head and make it look good. I wear a head wrap a lot of times. What?
I said,
Chris is talking, but Chris, you're in and out.
women would be like, they don't care. They don't care about having something. Why would I pay $10 for a hair wrap when I can just have this cheap one? People are trying to save money and don't give a shit how they look. And when you tell them that, like Monique, they would say, well, you can't tell me what to do or what to wear. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And that too.
I mean, it's just a double-edged sword. At this point, it's a double-edged sword. Because now we had someone that...
I mean, I agree, too. People should be presentable when you travel, when you go anywhere. You should look, well put together.
Like you tried.
But I can't tell them, I can't say you need to... I mean, you tell someone to pull their pants up because maybe that's offensive or whatever, but you can't tell them what to wear. And if you even remotely say something, and remember, this is the me era. They'll say, well, fuck you. I'm gonna wear, matter of fact, I'm not gonna wear a shirt at all. No shoot, no service. No, I'm gonna come in here with the shirt with no shirt on.
Yep.
So,
anyway.
You can't offer, and especially older Black people too, because I see that, when you try and say something from experience or whatever, people don't want to listen. And I feel like that's because people automatically become, defensive and take it as criticism on your character. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, try and look your best when you go out. Represent yourself the way best.
Yeah, but they would say, well, this is how I want to represent myself.
And I'm fine with that. I don't like it, but I'm fine with it.
Are you fine with it?
I don't like it, but I have to accept it. Like I said, I'm never gonna go up to somebody and say, "Oh my God, why do you dress like that? Why do you dress like that?"
Chris,
you do your hair. I would never be that person.
What?
Hey, Chris.
What?
Quit eating nuts. Chris Cedric Yarbrough is like, hey, Chris, quit eating nuts. That's why I kept saying it. I saw it.
Because Chris is ghetto too. We're trying to have a conversation, and he's just like, those Cheetos.
Hey, listen, I ain't mad at him. He's eating his Cheetos, and I'm pouring me a drink. I had to come inside, and I had to turn off my music because it's getting late, and I didn't want my neighbors to be listening to all this shit banging.
All right, ladies.
All right.
It's been a fun talk. I hope you people had fun. Who watch, who stay with us, talk, rant about all kinds of stuff.
Well, they're probably going to be like,
we come here every week. It's a weekly thing.
Respectability police.
We talk shit every week, and we're on YouTube, and this is our first IG Live, so thank you guys. So go to our page and like us and follow us and ask us questions. Give us
and have a good night. And I'm not judging anybody.
Just kidding.
I judge. Love you guys. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hate that face.